grateful because she got arthritis, right? She's 42, but I had no money left and I couldn't afford the £5.70 bus fare. In another example, a mother hitchhiked and walked to a food bank in Cornwall with her child in a pram. Oxfam Sarah Dranesfield said benefits cuts were a major cause. A lot of people will be struggling this Christmas. Right? Okay, beautiful. Right, let's have a look at some more of them articles. Finish what you got there.
Okay. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets.
Yep, that's the businesses. More and more small businesses are shutting down every day. Even certain medium-sized businesses are shutting down every day. And the big monsters, they're doing well because everyone has to go to them. Like Walmart, Tesco, because people still need to buy things. So they get the custom. That's why Primark, I keep mentioning Primark, because Primark is a monster. Eventually, Primark's gonna kill all these fucking shopping places if time was to go on and this place went to just belly flop instantly. Because who can afford to go to River Island? Let's be honest. Who can afford to go Selfridges now? Maybe to look around. Maybe they might visit Dunkin' Donuts. But seriously, to buy a garment for £150, £200, £300? No man, they'll take that £100 and go Primark and get many outfits. Primark killed peacocks. They killed they've killed a whole heap of high street fucking clotheslines, man. Dead. Look, where's Woolworths? Dead. Wilkinson's gonna be dead soon enough too. They're gonna die soon enough too. Safeway, they died a long time ago. Okay?
When the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the doors of music shall be brought low.
All the doors, that's why the music now is garbage. Gangnam, do it Gangnam style. That kind of bullshit. These so-called singers ain't really no fucking singers. They got no talent, man. They got no creativity. Okay? They're done. And you could look at all music genres and see that. Look at reggae. Reggae's done, man. Dancehall is done. They're making a bunch of techno now. Daga, 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 daga. They're not making no songs no more. It's done. Okay? Let's have a look at some of them articles. Any one of them economic ones will do. Like I said, we're just chiming off that scripture. I'll beheld Satan falling as lightning, man. Look, man, even 2 years ago, would anyone have thought that would have been a headline at the front of the Metro? Third world Britain. No. Would anyone have thought that 10 years ago that would be an advert? No, they wouldn't have. What, in the year 2000? No, the hell no. A lot of the things you see happening in America today, you think anyone would have thought about that in the year 2000? No, they thought America was the golden city, right? There's one there, I believe, about... Oh, okay, what's that? Oh, here's another one. Here. No. And this dude looks like a total fucking faggot,
fucking
man.
Demon, man. I hate looking at his face, man.
But he's just a pawn of the internet, the Bank of England, man.
Okay, this is from the Daily Mail. Okay, it says George Osborne rocked by $100 billion budget black hole as senior bank official declares financial crisis as bad as a world war.
As bad as basically, we at the brink. Let's read some of it.
Says government borrowing will be nearly $100 billion higher than expected over the next 5 years as economic growth remains weak and inadequate, according to business leaders. The report published today by the British Chambers of Commerce.
What does that mean, economic growth? You know what that means? That means you're done. Let me put it in simple terms. You're done. You know that top of the mountain? You've reached it. Now you're going down. The Most High has cut you, man. This is it. You want to know the glory of your kingdom? You passed it. You passed the 30 years ago, man. Yeah, you built a few skyscrapers and all that. You're done, man. Prosperity ain't shared out like how it used to be among the crackers. No, niggas weren't sharing in the prosperity, no way. But now, at least before, the so-called white man had a sizable middle class. Now that middle class is disappearing, and they're turning it. What's a third world country? What's it like in a third world country? In a third world country, you got two classes of people. You got the super rich, and you got the poor. In a first world country, you have different classes. You got the super rich, you got the rich, you got the, which is the upper middle class, you got the middle class, you got the working class, and you got the lower class. What Britain is turning into, they're turning into Venezuela, where you got the rich and you got the poor. Is that not what it's turning into? That's what America's turning into. You're gonna have the super rich, and then everyone else is just gonna be a poor ass chattel slave. That's the idea. That's why your middle class is disappearing rapidly. That's proof that the white man is going down. That's what happened in Rome. The middle class in Rome disappeared.
So Chambers of Commerce warns that Chancellor's plans have been blown wildly off course. With weak economic growth, meaning it will take far longer than planned to wipe out the record deficit racked up by Labour. Added to which, Senior Bank of England figure Andrew Haldane said this financial crisis would ravage family incomes for generations, with the cost still likely being paid by our grandchildren.
Yeah, which they're underplaying it. Man, there's so much debt. When you add in all the derivatives and all that shit, you know there's 1.5 quadrillion in derivatives worldwide. There's more. Man, if they told you the real level of the debt, no, you wouldn't ever pay it off. Okay? Talking about grandchildren. They out their damn mind. How are grandchildren gonna pay it on part-time work? In McDonald's, they're gonna pay off the deficit. Get the fuck out of here, man. Okay? Is that it on that article? Let me get that Bible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep. Get me your next one up.
Yeah, looking.
Right, let me get Isaiah 47, man. America, Britain, the whole Roman system is on its way down, man. Okay? And that's a beautiful thing. That's something that makes us happy. We're in a good mood today. I told you we was gonna have fun today. We're having a good time reading these articles, man. Okay? Now it's for you to see what's going on, and you gotta jump on the right train. See, there's two trains. There's the Most High's train, and then there's the white man's train. Now the white man's train is going off a cliff. The Most High's train is going into everlasting glory. I mean, it goes back to the parable, which I'll get that real quick while the brother's looking for the article.
I'm ready when you are.
Alright, let me read this article real quick. I mean, this parable of the wicked servant. Right. This is Luke, the 16th chapter. And this parable goes over a lot of people's heads. Luke 16:1. And he said also unto his disciples, there was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I heard this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer steward. So basically, he's basically saying, your time's up, son. You, once I've figured out what's going on here, you're basically going to be fired. Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig. To beg, I am ashamed. I am resolved what to do, that when I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses. So he called every one of the Lord's debtors unto him, and said unto the first, How much owest thou unto my Lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said unto him, Take thy bill, and sit down quickly, and write 50. Then said he to another, And how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, Take thy bill, and write 80. And the Lord commended the unjust steward. Now these devils, they don't understand why the Lord commended it. He didn't commend him because of his wickedness. Because what he did was wicked. That was false witness. He was doing fraud to his master. Was he commending him because he did fraud? We're going to find out. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. And I say unto you, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when ye fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much, and he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. If therefore ye have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if ye have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Now why was the servant wise? The servant was wise because he see that his time was up in one place. So what he did was he wisely prepared another place for him to go. That's why he said, I can't beg, I can't dig, and I ain't gonna beg. So what's he gonna do? He's nicing up the debtors so that when he gets fired as steward, he can go to one of them and get a job there. Now, how does that apply to us? That's how you niggas are supposed to be when it comes to this world. Right now, we're in the so-called white man's kingdom. So we're serving the so-called white man with our flesh most of the time. We gotta go work, we subject onto payments, all that. But here it is, the white man's going down. There ain't gonna be no place for you if the white man's gone. So what you do? You know the Most High, Yahweh Shai has the next kingdom. You serve Yahweh Shai. That's wisdom. Why you think you're serving the Lord? Because we want to get into the kingdom of heaven. Because not only this kingdom wicked, but let's say even if you was getting something out of this kingdom, it's going down anyway. You got niggas that want to serve the Illuminati, want to sell out. When this kingdom's going down, man, like Johanna, you sold out to the white man when the white man's going down. So when the white man goes down, now you're gonna go down with him. When really what you should have done was serve the Lord, so that when the white man goes down, you is with the Lord. But that's why you ain't wise, man. You wanted to serve the white man and the white man's going down. You on the Titanic playing violin, man. When you let the lifeboat go, you out your mind. This kingdom's going down. Fuck serving the white man. Serve the Most High, man. His kingdom's coming in. But these niggas out here, they don't consider that. They want to make it in this white man's kingdom when it's going down. So when the Lord's kingdom come and they get put to death, that's up to them. They made their choice. Okay, you got an article there?
Okay, this is from shtfplan.com.
Yeah, shit hits the fan.
Oh, okay. Okay. It says, worse since World War II, 50% unemployment. Over 6 million teens and young adults are out of work and not in school.
Yep.
It goes
how many, what did you say?
50%. 6 million teens.
6 million teens.
Yeah, and young adults.
Yep. And then the rest of them that are in work is part-time. Go on.
Right. It goes on to read, amid a worsening fiscal crisis, a crumbling economy, and the destruction of over 40% of America's wealth.
A destruction of over what?
40%.
40% of America's wealth. Now, wealth ain't destroyed, man. Wealth is